I glanced at the wall clock. 8:45 p.m. 15 minutes till the closing time at the Roosevelt Mall. Straight in the last rack of Umbro shorts in the sporting goods section of Sears. The TVs blare from electronics, all showing the local news. The newscaster's voice cuts through the store.
Malls across the country are showing a troubling decline in shoppers, except for right here on Long Island. The Roosevelt Mall is booming. What's their secret? Must be the addicting chicken sandwiches at Ranch 1.
My boss, Mr. Peterson, emerges from the back office. Ben, don't forget to lock up the mannequin in the storage room tonight, he reminds me for the third time that week. I nod, though I don't understand the obsession with that particular mannequin. It looks identical to the others scattered throughout the store, but Mr. Peterson insists I cover it with a sheet and lock it in the closet overnight. Store policy, he'd say, though no one ever explains why. I hated touching it. It feels like it was watching me with cold, hard plastic eyes. That's when Steve and Jason walk in. I'd never spoken to either of them before, though we'd gone to the same school for years. They were seniors, popular guys who throw parties people talk about for weeks. Guys who had never once acknowledged my existence. We close in 10, I reply, trying to sound casual while my heart hammers in my chest. I can't believe they're talking to me. Hey, they haven't kicked everyone out yet, Steve asked. Jason's eyes lock onto the mannequin and he nudges Steve. Dude, that would be perfect. I should have known then. I should have recognized the trap, disguised as an opportunity. But when you're invisible your whole life, the chance to be seen is too powerful to resist. Their plan is to steal the mannequin as a prank for Heather Williams' party tonight. Heather Williams, the girl who sat in front of me in English for 3 years and had never once learned my name. Her parents are away for the weekend, and apparently everyone who matters will be there. You work here, right? Steve said. You could help us get it out without security seeing. I hesitate, picturing Mr. Peterson, the possibility of getting fired, maybe even arrested. But then Jason said the magic words, "Come to the party with us." 6 simple words that changed everything. 15 minutes later, we're loading the mannequin into Steve's Jeep Cherokee. It's heavier than it looks, like those plastic muscles are actually made of dense tissue. When my fingers brush against its forearm, I feel an uncomfortable heat. It's warm, I mutter. Steve doesn't seem to hear. Let's go. Beer run first. As we drive away from the mall, I look back through the rear window. For a second, I swear I see movement behind the Sears display window. A shadow shifting, watching us leave. I blink, and it's gone. Heather's house smells like Bud Light and puke. We carry the mannequin through the front door to a chorus of drunken cheers. Party mascot, Steve announces proudly. They position the mannequin near the keg in the living room, dressing it in a baseball cap. Everyone laughs, taking turns posing with it for photos on disposable cameras. For the first time in my life, I'm at a cool party. An hour later, I'm playing Mario Kart with some guys I know from chemistry class. That's when I notice something strange. The mannequin is gone from its spot by the keg. Hey, who moved the mannequin? I asked, trying to sound casual. A spike of panic shoots through me. I'm responsible for it. If anything happens to it, I know Mr. Peterson will fire me. I slip away from the Mario Kart tournament, moving through the crowd. I check the kitchen first, then the dining room. Nothing. That's when I notice the upstairs hallway is oddly quiet despite the packed house. I climb the stairs, the music fading with each step. At the top, I see Jessica Winters walking towards the bathroom, and behind her, impossibly with glowing red eyes, stands the mannequin. As I open my mouth to call out, the mannequin's arm moves. A stiff, hinged movement, a purposeful motion. It pushes her. I watch in frozen horror as Jessica tumbles down the stairs, her neck snapping with a sickening crack against the banister before she crumbles at the bottom. The mannequin's head rotates towards me, just slightly. I swear it's smiling. I rush down to Jessica, but it's too late. Her eyes stare vacantly at the ceiling. Dead. Then I hear screaming outside. I watch from the kitchen window as Jason does a keg stand in the backyard, cheered on by the rest of the partiers. The floodlights flicker once, twice, then go out completely. When they come back on seconds later, Jason is impaled on the keg tap, blood pooling on the concrete patio. Horrified kids scatter in every direction. Everyone runs screaming. Everyone except me, Steve, and Heather. We stand mesmerized. The mannequin I had just seen at the top of the stairs was now impossibly standing under the floodlight. We watch as its head slowly rotates towards us, its movements jerky and unnatural. I hear a voice. So many souls here. But it's not my ears hearing it. The voice is inside my head, cold and ancient. I've never been so terrified in my life. This thing is transmitting thoughts from its brain to mine. What souls? I ask. Steve's face had gone pale. You heard that too? Heather nods, her eyes wide with panic. I heard it too. Why are you doing this? I ask, my voice barely a whisper. The voice slithers through our minds. The mall is the communal heartbeat of suburbia, and I am its guardian. But that requires sacrifice. The mall needs energy to survive, so I must feed it. Unfortunately for you, it only consumes one thing. Teenage souls. Wait, to save the mall, you have to kill people? Come on, Heather says out loud. We have to get it back to Sears, I say quietly to Steve and Heather. We have to lock it in the storage room. The mannequin's head jerked toward me. I won't go back. Not tonight. A memory flashes in my mind. Mr. Peterson insisting on covering the mannequin with a sheet before storing it. Its eyes, I whisper. It's harmless, if it can't see. Without warning, the mannequin lurches forward. Steve grabs a jacket from a chair and throws it over the mannequin's head. We need to go now, I say, my heart pounding. Back to the storage room. The drive back to the mall is the longest 20 minutes of my life. The mannequin sits in the back seat next to Heather, perfectly still with the jacket wrapped tightly around its head, but I can feel its dark presence. This is insane, Steve keeps muttering. We should go to the police. And tell them what? I shoot back. A mannequin killed people? They'll lock us up. We park near a service entrance where I know the lock is broken. The mall is eerily dark. Emergency lights casting long shadows across the empty corridors. Our footsteps echo as we walk past darkened storefronts. Sweet Factory, Structure, B. Dalton. Places that look so normal during the day take on sinister auras at night. I can't believe I'm doing this, Heather whispers, her voice shaking. The mannequin's movements are jerky, even while blinded. We secure the jacket over its head with Steve's belt, but I can feel it testing the restraint, head twisting slightly with each step. Which way to Sears? Steve asks as we reach the central court fountain, the smell of wet pennies in the air. Other side of the mall, I reply. We have to cross the whole place. We pass Victoria's Secrets, its darkened displays of lingerie eerily illuminated by the low-level night lighting. We can cut through here, I say as we approach the food court. It's faster. Can we take a break? Heather asks, her hands trembling. Just for a minute. I feel like I'm going to throw up. We pause by the shuttered Sbarro. The mannequin stands perfectly still between us. We should split up, Steve suddenly suggests. Ben, you know where the storage room is. Take the mannequin there. I'll call for help, he says, eyeing a row of payphones down a hallway. No, I say firmly. That's how people die in horror movies. We need to stick together. The mannequin jerks its head up suddenly, as if listening. But Steve shakes his head. Look, if something happens to all of us, no one will know the truth. I'll meet you at Sears in 10 minutes. Steve pushes the mannequin toward me, but I'm not ready. It bumps my shoulder hard, and the jacket slides off his face for an instant. The eyes glow red as Steve flies into the escalator. Blood pours from his head, and the escalator starts moving. Steve's going to get pulled under. Help me! Steve cries, blood streaming from his nose and mouth. Our sneakers squeak on the tile floor. I look around frantically, spotting a JanSport backpack someone left on a table. I lunge for it, emptying its contents and charging towards the mannequin. I fling the backpack over the mannequin's head, pulling the drawstrings tight. It freezes instantly. Heather and I grab a mannequin arm as we sprint past Lady Footlocker and the Rainforest Cafe, and finally towards the darkened entrance of Sears. The mannequin stumbles, the backpack still secure over its head, but already beginning to slip as it blindly navigates by some unholy sense. I can hear its plastic feet scraping across the floor, trying to slow us down. There! I point to the employee entrance of Sears. We burst through the door, dragging the blind mannequin behind us. We find the storage room key where Mr. Peterson always keeps it, hidden in the register under the fake bottom of the cash drawer. Together we shove the mannequin into the dark room, slamming the door before it can recover. I turn the key. hearing the lock click. We both take a deep breath, but it's not over. Mr. Peterson steps out of the shadows. Ben, I'm disappointed in you. The mannequin must be locked away every night. You didn't listen. I thought you were a good kid. That's why I tried to keep you from the curse. He's your responsibility now. I'm free. Wait, I plead. You can't just... I already have, he says, walking towards the exit. I've already accepted a job in Phoenix. By this time tomorrow, I'll be 1,000 miles away. What if I don't do it? I call after him. He stops at the door. Then it gets out. And what happened tonight will seem merciful compared to what comes next. 6 months later, the mall's busy. Teenagers crowd the food court, laughing, flirting, living. None of them notice the watchful face in the Sears sporting goods department. None of them know I'm the only thing standing between them and a murderer. I bring the mannequin out every morning and lock it away every night without fail. I've missed family birthdays, graduation events, college application deadlines. I don't know what's worse, that I got my classmates killed, or that I have no hope of ever moving on from this outdated, cursed department store. This is my life now, keeper of the mannequin. No one will ever know what that party cost me.